Has trans athlete insanity finally peaked? We've got to talk about a really crazy, really disturbing story and video because a girls' high school basketball team has forfeited a game at halftime after a player was injured by a male or student who identifies as a transgender girl on the other team. We'll roll the video from this incident while we discuss some of the details, but it's kind of disturbing. So if you don't want to see it, look away now. But Fox News reports that a high school basketball player who identifies as a girl is accused of causing injuries in a game, causing opponents to forfeit. So a girls' basketball game between two Massachusetts schools made waves earlier this month after one team forfeited against their opponent, which had a biological male who identifies as female on the court, a source told Fox News Digital. The Collegiate Charter School of Lowell forfeited against KIPP Academy, which resides in Lynn, Massachusetts, at halftime. KIPP was leading the game 31-14, but the game goes into the record as a 10-0 win. A video circulated online on Monday showing one player for the collegiate charter wrestling for a rebound with the biological male athlete from KIPP Academy. Some have expressed concern after the girl for collegiate charter was injured on the play after hitting the court, grabbing her back in pain. A source told Fox News Digital that the biological male who identifies as a female is more than 6 feet tall and has facial hair. KIPP Academy did not immediately answer a request for clarification regarding the athlete's gender identity. Prior to this injury, 2 others had been suffered by a collegiate charter team that was only carrying an 8-player bench due to injuries in previous games, but it is unknown if these injuries occurred during plays involving the biological male athlete. So this school decided to forfeit, and I totally understand why, but both Massachusetts state law and the handbook for the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association both require that sports allow athletes to participate according to their gender identity, not biological sex. Yeah, this incident shows why that is pure and utter madness. It's not just about fairness, like we've talked about in other contexts, like swimming, where a trans girl student will still have biological advantages if they went through male puberty, especially, that don't go away just because you're medically transitioning, which means it's not fair for female athletes to have to compete with biologically male athletes who have a natural advantage. That's why we segregate sports by sex. If we didn't, in most sports, males would just dominate. But we've decided as a society that sports have a unique and important value in teaching competitiveness and teamwork and other things and are a rewarding life experience that we want to ensure women get to experience too, which they couldn't do without sports being segregated by sex. Yet this incident shows another important reason why, at least in contact sports, you absolutely should. It's both necessary and proper and fair and not discriminatory, but just simply rational to separate sports by birth sex. I played basketball in high school, and while contact's going out of the game a little bit, it is physical. And what happened in the play they showed on video was just a rebound. It's not like, from anything we can tell, this trans student was trying to hurt anyone. I really don't think that was the case. They were just both pulling at the basketball, and the male student was just much stronger than the girl. So he ripped the ball away, or she ripped the ball away, the trans student, from the student they were competing with. And that student went flying and got hurt. It's not safe. And there's no justification based in inclusion or wokeness or identity that ever can justify jeopardizing female athletes' safety. I'm sorry. It's just not that important to affirm gender identity above safety. It's just not. I understand that teenagers who identify as transgender, they want to play sports too. I really do feel for them if they're going to be excluded as a result of this, but you have to have safety is the starting block for sports. And then you go on from there. You can't compromise that for anything else. And it's just not safe. This is just one incident of many, but it's not safe to have biologically male students competing with biologically female students in contact sports. This isn't chess or bowling or something where you can make an argument that it's actually fine, or even something like swimming or track where it might be unfair, but at least nobody's going to be hurt. Putting males and females together in contact sports is dangerous. And I know I say this a lot, guys, but This is only going to set back acceptance and dignity that we want people to afford the transgender community. Honestly, I'm surprised a fight didn't break out at this game or that dads didn't storm the court, because it is really disturbing to watch a male student just overpower a female student and that she gets thrown to the ground. Not a recipe for success in terms of promoting inclusion and tolerance and everyone living side by side. No, this kind of insanity, if they stick with it, is only going to lead to a huge groundswell of opposition towards any form of inclusion for trans students, which is not what I think is the right path, but is an understandable reaction to really crazy stuff like this. Let me know what you think in the comments. How did you feel when you saw this really shocking video? And do you think that this is going to keep happening, or are people finally going to wake up and realize that this is just, even if you're liberal, this is just taking it too far?